I happen to be fortunate enough that I have a great example of aging in my personal life. He's one of my very best friends in the world. His name is Chris. To say I love Chris, it's a bit of an understatement. Like, Chris is, and the relationship that I've had with Chris is incredibly meaningful. Literally means the absolute world to me. And connecting with Chris has changed my life in ways that I honestly cannot describe. What I can tell you is Chris is 30 years older than me. So I'm 48, Chris is currently 78. I watch the way he lives his life, and it impacts how I face my own aging, and it impacts how I think about my own future. And I want to talk about that today because we all have to face the future knowing that we are aging. And I don't know anybody better at doing that than my buddy Chris. And I want to share some of the lessons I have learned from watching Chris manage aging. So welcome back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work as a psychotherapist and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. Of course, I'm your host, Elliott Connie. I want to tell you the first lesson I've learned from my buddy Chris. And that is how important movement is to your physical, emotional, and mental health. Chris lives in London, and London is a walking city. And every single day when Chris was working, and he's still working, actually, I'll get to that, but he's still working. But when he was working in the city center of London, now he works from home as a result of the shifts that have happened in the world since COVID, he would walk about a mile and a half to the train station. And then he would take the train into the city, and then he would walk a couple of blocks to his office, and then do that in reverse, coming home. So every single day, Chris walked roughly 3 miles, give or take. And I'm talking for like 35 years he did that. And as a result, like, his energy level is incredibly high. When I met Chris, he was in his 50s, and I was in my early 30s, and I had a hard time keeping up with him. That's how much energy this man has. And it is directly attributable to walking every day. Chris is not a workout guy. He's not an athletic guy. He's not a guy that would go run or go to the gym. He just moved his body consistently over the course of time. I went and visited Chris recently. Chris now has a dog. And twice a day, Chris and his wife take Murphy on a walk. Now, and they have different routes that they walk the dog in. And one route is 5 miles, another route is 3.5 miles, something like that. But twice a day they do that. So now Chris is walking 8 to 10 miles every single day, all of the time, without fail. Chris also is very careful on what he eats. Now, I want to be clear, this is not a workout guy. I've never seen Chris take a protein shake. I've never seen Chris take a handful of vitamins. I've never seen Chris do any of that. But Chris is very careful not to eat like chemically enhanced food. Chris is not really a fast food kind of guy. He happens to be a very good cook, almost at chef level, but he eats very natural, clean foods. Chicken, potatoes, like he just doesn't eat foods that are associated with the chemicals that we put in foods from fast foods and things like that. I would just say the other thing Chris does is he does the things in his life that excite him. He continues to work because it excites him. He spends a lot of time around his kids and his grandkids because they excite him. He spends a lot of time with love and care and nurturing around him because it makes him feel good. And Chris has a lot of fun. He's not the kind of guy that does a lot of things in his life if he doesn't find them fun. In fact, I don't know how to get Chris to do something that he doesn't enjoy doing. And I watch that and I think, man, I want to be like that when I'm 78 years old. I want to be the way Chris is when I'm at that age. Like, I want to be that person. I want to be that guy. He is such an amazing example on how to age and age in a way that is good for you. And I feel so lucky that I know him personally. I get to watch it. And I hope you can take these lessons and apply them to your life too, because this is how you age effectively. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind doing me a super huge favor, I would love it if you would share this podcast with at least one person in your life that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. And also follow me on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can search for my name, Elliott Connie, or at Elliott Speaks. That's my handle across all platforms. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.